Looking for these better days.
It is Wednesday, November 19th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. The latest college football playoff rankings came out last night. Mackenzie's NBA model comes up with yet another winner. We also cashed a winner on the ice last night as the wins are starting to stack up on betterday.com. Plus the week 12 NFL, or week 12, right? We're in week 12 already, Mackenzie. My goodness, the time is flying by. Week 12 Trench Report is out. We'll get to the top mismatches here coming up here in just a few minutes. That's Mackenzie Rivers. He joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. And let's start in the NBA, Mac, where LeBron James made his season debut, his historic 23rd NBA season. I thought he'd be out a little bit longer. I thought he'd wait till maybe like a week or so before Christmas to kind of get some preseason, quote unquote, games before he came back for the Lakers when it mattered, but he made his debut last night, and the Lakers put up 140 points, beating the Jazz 140 to 126, celebrating LeBron's return.
Yes, and he'll get another crack at him. It's funny, you actually asked me before the season, right when this injury happened, and I was looking at the calendar like maybe the back-to-back games against Utah would be a pretty soft landing spot for him. And it was close, nip and tuck through the first half, and then the Lakers absolutely blow it out the last 20 minutes of the game. And everybody's happy. LeBron, the master of the narrative, plays 30 minutes, only takes 7 shots, grabs 12 assists, only 1 turnover. Luka, the new face of the team, scores 37 points in 34 minutes. Everybody's happy. What a great win. They cover by a half point just to boot.
Yeah.
Here's my counter argument. Here's why all of that's BS. Here's why ESPN will tell you that. Here's why The Ringer will tell you that. Here's what you really need to know. Look past points. Look past blocks, steals, rebounds, and assists. LeBron's mastered that. He can give you the narrative in a box score that you want to tell your story and that all his fans want to hear. You're going to sell a lot of newspapers. But if you're interested in the truth, and bettors are interested in the truth, LeBron is no longer a top 40 player in the league. He is walking around defensively. He is literally standing and poaching assists. And there's one story, or there's one metric that told the story last year, tells the story this year. He was the only All-NBA player to be outscored when he was on the court. He had a negative plus-minus. His team didn't. His teammates didn't. Luka didn't. AD didn't. But LeBron stood out because he can master everything in the game, but doing that is a detriment to the team. In this game, every other starter, plus 14 for Rui, plus 10 for Luka, plus 10 for Austin Reeves. Every bench player that played significant minutes, plus 12 for Jake LaRavia, plus 15 for Gabe Vincent. LeBron, he was negative for most of the game, ended up getting to plus 1 in overtime. But I think that's the key metric. If the team is not better when you return, you're not helping the team. And I think the Lakers have found an offensive identity. He's going to try to ride the coattails, and eventually he's going to have to either become a great role player, which I don't think he's ever been. I know he's the Swiss Army knife that can do everything, but he doesn't do it well. He doesn't spot up and shoot well. He doesn't guard his man that well in the later part of his career. And that's what they need, the little stuff, not grabbing 12 assists or 20 points or whatever, those big box score metrics that people care about. I don't think he can do the little stuff to help this team. I think this game, buried in the 14-point win, was the first signs of it this year.
All right. Well,
hot enough take for you on a Tuesday?
It's a very hot take, and this is something that's going to bear watching as the weeks and months progress here of this NBA season. Well, in positive news last night, and no hot take needed here, Mackenzie, the model gave us another winner. The Spurs, a 111-101 victory over the Grizzlies, as this was a little bit of drama because the Grizzlies had a monster third quarter, and it was a little sweat time, but in the final 4 minutes, San Antonio just completely pulled away.
Yeah, another game that had a similar script was the Celtics-Nets, where the Nets scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. Some of these teams are real legitimate franchises, and that was part of my analysis for this team. No Wemby, no problem, because the Spurs aren't that much more talented than the Grizzlies. That's not why they were 6-point favorites. That's not why they're 10-4, and the Grizzlies were 4-10. It's because they actually have players that believe in their program under Mitch Johnson. So yeah, Wemby, you lose points, you lose defense. It's obviously a big loss, but that means Harrison Barnes can step up with a big quarter. That means De'Aaron Fox feels like it's more on him, and people will expand their roles when they are buying into the system, and they are right now with the Spurs, one of the more upgraded teams in the league. And I think they, unlike the Bucks, who I think are going to wilt without Giannis the next couple of weeks, I think the Spurs are going to maintain their top 4 seed in the West.
Okay, we loved the win last night, though. It's all that mattered. Elsewhere, this one was one where you told me yesterday that your model was close on, but it wasn't enough for you to pull the trigger. And it turns out it would have been a winner because the Suns, a 127-110 win over the Blazers. I guess it was one where you liked it, but you didn't love it.
Yeah, right. And that's why, if you, we should publish these big picks every day because the model's honestly doing better than me in the NBA season. And the Blazers are really
vulnerable. No, but Mackenzie, when you agree with the model strongly, exactly. That's where we're getting our best winners.
4 and 2 exactly. on betterday.com. A couple of them model picks, a couple of them combo picks. I love it when the model agrees with me like it was with the Spurs. But yeah, the Blazers are a little bit fraudulent. They tried to play Jan Hansen a little bit. He had probably his best game of the season with 9 points. But without Drew Holiday, without Scoot Henderson, there's a lot to be desired for the Blazers offense right now. And by the way, no Chauncey Billups.
Yep, there you have it. Let's take a look at the schedule here for tonight. Big schedule, as it is a typical NBA Wednesday. I guess it's not as big as you would think. But we have the Rockets at the Cavaliers. This is game 1 of what is going to be an ESPN doubleheader. Houston, a 1.5-point road favorite in Cleveland, Mackenzie.
I'm a little bit surprised by this. I still have the Cavs as my 3rd best team. I have my Rockets as my 4th best team. No Darius Garland, but as I said earlier in the week, they're very comfortable with that scenario. I like the Rockets long term, but I think right now the Cavs are the better team, and the market disagrees with me. Strong lean onto the Cavs.
All right. Elsewhere, up on the FanDuel Sportsbook, the second game of that ESPN doubleheader is the Knicks at the Mavericks, and currently up on FanDuel, Knicks are a 5.5-point road favorite.
Mavericks are playing better. Cooper Flagg probably should be the favorite now for Rookie of the Year. That's the vision is coming into place. They just needed to give him some space, get Anthony Davis out the way, get Luka out the way. I lean to the Mavericks here. My model says it's 0.17 points advantage to the Knicks, so it's a coin flip.
The Warriors last night lose to the Orlando Magic. Final score was 121-113. Now Golden State plays the second of a back-to-back in Miami against the Heat. And the concern, Mac, is whether Steph Curry is going to play or not. He tweaked his ankle last night. He did finish the game, though. Had 34 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds, and 3 steals in 34 minutes. But he said last night after the game that he's going to wait and see how the ankle responds to some rest and treatment and after they get into Miami and see what happens. But up on FanDuel right now, the Heat are a 6.5-point favorite. That's the market essentially telling us that they don't think Steph's going to play.
No, and they really need him more than ever. 34 points in 34 minutes with 9 assists last night. Even though Jimmy Butler chipped in with a rare 30-point game from him, nobody else had even more than 12 points. This is a one-man team as much as it ever has been in Golden State. Al Horford's not working. Draymond Green's not working. They don't have that, I guess Kuminga was the thought, but he didn't play last night. They really are missing a third scorer because Draymond Green is really unplayable on offense at this point.
If we find out Steph is playing and this line moves, would you have any interest in the Warriors, or are you just staying away because even if he does play, we don't know how effective he'll be?
It is a big concern. I probably would pass this game, although the model, which was very effective for us over the last couple of days, loves the Warriors here. If Steph Curry is in, there's actually obviously a huge adjustment. If he's not, other two plays it highlights are the Thunder over the Kings and the Hornets we like almost every day over the Pacers.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the NHL. Can I say one more thing about the NBA?
Hot take.
Yes, this is a hot take. There was an article yesterday that mentioned that LeBron James and Steph Curry are unlikely to participate in the 2028 Olympics.
I saw that. Unlikely.
Mackenzie, no shit.
Me too. I'm also not likely to make it.
Yeah. Here's an alternate headline. Team USA unlikely to choose 43-year-old men to play in the Olympics. What? Why is this?
That's a dog bites man right there. That's not news.
Like, why is this a headline? Oh, my goodness. All right, let's move into the NHL, where last night we cashed a best bet winner on the Winnipeg Jets, minus a goal and a half at home against the Columbus Blue Jackets, a 5-2 winner for the Winnipeg Jets. And if you listened to yesterday's show or you looked at the newsletter from yesterday that we sent out, this was a play because we were fading the back-to-back spot. Columbus was playing in the back-to-back. Teams since the start of 2021 playing on the second of a back-to-back in Winnipeg, 7-22 straight up, 12-17 on the puck line, make it now 7-23 straight up, 12-18 on the puck line.
So there's three cities we like to fade teams on the second night of a back-to-back, as far as I understand. Maybe there's more. Tell me. Las Vegas, Toronto, Winnipeg. So you have to like
Boston
as well. Okay.
Yeah.
All four of those places seem like a different country. When you go to Vegas, it's a different nation. When you go to Boston, and then obviously Canada.
Yeah, we that's exactly what it is. And again, we love fading the teams on the second of a back-to-back on the road, depending on where they are playing. And this was a big one here for Winnipeg being one of those cities. There is a team that's on the road here tonight on the second of a back-to-back, the Flames at the Sabres, but no strong lean there. The next one probably that we're going to play, not for a while, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Subscribe to betterday.com and it'll be emailed to you.
Exactly. Speaking of Vegas, last night the Golden Knights defeated the Rangers 3-2, and our boy Jack Eichel hits the Eichel Tower once again. Mackenzie, 5 shots on goal for Jack Eichel. And this was one where you didn't have to lay the juice on the 2.5. You could have played the 3.5 and gotten the plus money. But Jack Eichel with another Eichel Tower hit, 5 shots on goal in VGK's 3-2 win over the New York Rangers. Let's take a quick look at the schedule here for tonight. I mentioned we do have one team that is on the back-to-back. That is the Flames at the Sabres, and currently up on FanDuel, Buffalo a minus 155 favorite. Your TNT nationally televised game is going to be the Hurricanes at the Minnesota Wild, and Carolina right now up on FanDuel is a heavy road favorite, minus 162. The Bruins take on the Ducks. And this is a fun matchup in Anaheim where you have the 12-9 Bruins against the 12-6-1 Ducks. And why is this a fun matchup? Because, well, if you go to betterday.com, like you should be doing, and you can access our first period NHL database, you will see that the two of the best over teams in the first period, Mackenzie, the Boston Bruins, number one over team at 14-7 to the over in the first period, and the Anaheim Ducks to the over in the first period are 12-7. So we have two elite over teams in the first period. So we like the over 1.5 in the first period tonight.
Is that the most entertaining bet in sports? Over in the first period. It's the fastest sport, right? That's what they call it, the fastest sport in the world. And then you bet the over right at the tip. Good bet.
It really is just so fun. I mean, come on, like, what more do you need? It's so fun. It is a Wednesday here on the program, and that means the NFL Trench Report is out. So, Mackenzie, without further ado, let us get to the top mismatches in this Week 12 NFL Trench Report. The number one biggest mismatch of Week number 12 is going to be the New England Patriots over the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, this shouldn't come as a surprise to you because the Bengals show up essentially in every trench report as a team to fade because offensive and defensive lines are absolutely trash. This one feels like a Patriots runaway victory, but the line might be a little bit too heavy, Mackenzie. Up on FanDuel right now, Patriots 7.5-point road favorites.
Yeah, it's even 8.5 in some spots. BetOnline's doing a teaser protection 9. I think the line has gone and run away from us. I don't see how, if you didn't love it at 5 last week or at 7 at open, how you bet it at 9.
The number 2 biggest mismatch of the week, the Cleveland Browns at the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, this is one where I do have to, again, mention that the Trench Report does not care who's playing quarterback. The Trench Report just focuses on the line play. And here you have a situation where, yeah, Shedeur Sanders is playing quarterback, but the Cleveland Browns offensive line has played okay. Their defensive line has played incredible. And right now, up on FanDuel, the Browns are 3.5-point dogs at the Las Vegas Raiders. This is one where, whatever you feel about Shedeur Sanders, Mackenzie, you got to bet the Browns.
Yeah, and the market has faded Shedeur Sanders hard, moving from 3 to 3.5 when he was announced as the starter. But how much were we expecting out of the Cleveland quarterback position? Man, tough to bet on the Browns, but sometimes those are the bets that win.
Yep. I mean, listen, if Ashton Genty was shut down against the Cowboys and their new defensive line with Quinn and Williams there, I mean, what are they going to do against Myles Garrett and this Browns defensive line? I mean, sheesh. That's going to be tough sledding there for
maybe another successful running back under prop is in order.
All right, let's take a look now at the number 3 biggest mismatch in the Week 12 Trench Report. The Jacksonville Jaguars against the Arizona Cardinals. The Jaguars were a team that showed up in the Trench Report last week. We played them as dogs, and they won pretty significantly. And now they're 2.5-point road favorites up on FanDuel at the Arizona Cardinals.
Are you sending this Trench Report to the bookmakers like 24 hours before you give it to the people? Because all of these lines have moved drastically in the last 48 hours. This was Pick'em at open, and now it's Jaguars minus 2.5. If you're like me, it doesn't matter. It's not going to land 1 or 2. Just, shove in on the Jaguars. Makes sense.
They're following, Mackenzie. They are following along.
They should.
Your number 4 biggest mismatch, the Atlanta Falcons over the New Orleans Saints. The Kirk Cousins-led Atlanta Falcons over the New Orleans Saints. So that's one where, again, quarterback doesn't matter. It's all about the line play, and this one is telling us that the Falcons have an edge in the trenches against the New Orleans Saints. Falcons 1.5-point dogs in New Orleans.
Yeah, this one reverses the trend. Major money on the Saints over the last few days. How much do you think the receiver, Drake London, is worth, and how much do you think the quarterback change is worth? I would like to also ask you, how do you think underdogs have done that the Trench Report has identified? I feel like that's been a really strong subset.
Very well.
Jaguars last week being a great example.
Yep. Very well. And Broncos as well last week.
Yeah.
It absolutely has, a lot of outright winners for sure in the Trench Report as far as the dogs are concerned. All right, let's take a look at the number 5 biggest mismatch in the Trench Report this week, and that is the Seattle Seahawks over the Tennessee Titans. Good bounce back spot here for Seattle after suffering that loss to the Los Angeles Rams. Now they get to take out their frustrations on a hapless Tennessee Titans team, as right now up on FanDuel, we're seeing the Seattle Seahawks 13.5-point road favorites in Nashville.
And Mike McDonald on the road for another road win. He got a road cover last week. It seems to be a great spot and trend for him. Yep. This will be my survivor pick, almost certainly. Glad to see the Trench Reports on my side.
There you have it. For the top rushing mismatches, just simply head to betterday.com and take a look at the Trench Report. You'll have the top 5 rushing mismatches as well as the top 3 closest matchups. The Trench Report released every Wednesday for you betterday.com subscribers. Also, college football, the latest college football playoff rankings were unveiled yesterday, Mackenzie. It's not worth really debating them, and it's not worth arguing over who should be ranked where, because it's going to play itself out. But I do think that at this point, with each and every week, we're kind of getting more data points, right? And we're understanding what the committee thinks about each of these teams and really about these conferences. So here's what your bracket would look like if the season ended today. And we know that this is almost impossible. It's 100% impossible for it to actually be this way because Indiana and Ohio State will play each other. But number 1, Ohio State, number 2, Indiana, number 3, Texas A&M, and number 4, Georgia would have first-round byes. Your 12-5 matchup would be Tulane as the 12 seed representing the American Athletic Conference champion against Texas Tech. Your 8-9 matchup would be Oklahoma, the 8 against number 9, Notre Dame. The 6 seed would be Ole Miss against the 11 seed Miami as winners of the ACC, although Miami not in the driver's seat as far as winning the ACC. So that's probably not going to be the case. And then it's going to come down to if the committee's going to put Miami in as net large. So that's still yet to be determined. And then still in the hunt, despite the loss last week, number 10, Alabama against number 7, Oregon. Still lots to play out. Lots to play out. I think it's interesting that if you look at the rest of the college football playoff rankings, you have on the outside looking in right now 11 BYU, okay, 12 Utah. And so if, Texas Tech runs away and wins the Big 12, that's going to knock out probably BYU because they're going to play likely, Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship game. Does Utah sneak into the college football playoff? Something worth noting is that the Utah athletic director is now part of the committee, college football playoff committee. So something that people are going to argue about. Vanderbilt at 8-2 is number 14. USC is number 15 at 8-2. USC plays Notre Dame. That's going to be an elimination game for those two teams. And do not count out number 18 Michigan at 8-2. The Michigan Wolverines right now, who are 6-1 in conference play, if they beat Maryland this week, and then they beat Ohio State last game of the regular season, Michigan could get themselves into the Big Ten championship game. But even if they're not in the Big Ten championship game, because let's say USC winds up in the Big Ten championship game instead of, like there's a chance, though, Michigan at 10-2 with a win over Ohio State, the last game of the regular season, might get into the college football playoff.
Currently 7-1 on DraftKings. If you want to bet, yes, Michigan will make it. It seems like that's almost what their money line will be versus
Ohio State.
It might be 5-1. So I guess you get a little profit there. Some other interesting odds: Alabama still favored -260. Miami, who you mentioned, is dogs to make the playoffs 3-1. Utah and BYU, both dogs, both about +250. So if you think one of them's got to make it, you're wrong. Market says both of them likely to miss.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think BYU's going to make it, then just wait and just bet them against Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship game. Because that's it. That's what's going to. Or you can bet BYU now and then find a way to bet Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship game, and then there you have it. You have a little fun little free roll, I guess. You can figure that out. All right, that'll wrap up this episode here of Better Day, and I want to tell you guys about the exciting news happening at BetterDay.com. All the features that we have. I mean, we're rolling right now. And we have a big announcement coming up later on today. So depending on when you're listening to this podcast, you might hear the announcement already, or if you're listening, early in the morning, just be on the lookout. We're going to send an email out later today with a big announcement. But right now, we yesterday unveiled our live odds page. You can now go to BetterDay.com. You don't even have to be a subscriber. You can go to BetterDay.com. You click on the live odds link at the top of the page, and we have a live odds screen featuring 4 of the more popular, or I think 4 of the most popular online books that the majority of this country has access to. And that includes, our partners on this podcast over at FanDuel, also DraftKings, BetMGM, and Caesars, which are both available here in Vegas. So I chose those 4 books because they have the most offerings and the broadest reach. Right? Like we can quote Circa and all these Vegas books all the time too, but for a lot of you guys that listen outside of Las Vegas, where do you normally play? FanDuel, DraftKings, MGM, Caesars. And so that's why I chose those 4 books to put up on the Better Day live odds page. The games that you'll see, live scores. If the game's in progress, the live line will change. You will see the live line of the game up on the BetterDay.com live odds feed. You'll also see the score of the game. You can scroll over the game, by the way, and click on the little chart icon, and it says click for all markets. So let's say I go to the NFL and I click on the Buffalo Bills, and it says, this little icon says click for all markets. I click on that, and guess what? Full game, first half, second half, quarters, team totals if available, alternate lines, 3-way lines, all available for you in each and every game. Just click on the available markets. You'll get all of those derivative markets, if available, listed for you on each and every game. So really excited about this odds feature. Even this is bigger now that it was in the rollout. When I rolled this out yesterday, Mackenzie, it was only just the pregame odds.
Yeah,
now,
I haven't seen this till I clicked in right now this morning. Would you rather bet Bills minus 20.5, plus 500, or -4, minus 150? These are the questions we bring you. The answers are all up to you.
And there you have it. That live odds page is free for everybody. So you don't even have to be a BetterDay.com subscriber. If you want to just bookmark it and just use us as your live odds page, there it is for you. It's all interactive.
I don't know of a faster way to get alternative line, because it'd be much faster to go here on Better Day, click in one click, you have it, versus DraftKings trying to find it through their navigation.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you could. Yeah, right now if you just go, you click on a team and you click on your alternate lines or your first halves or whatever. This is all easy. It's right here for you. It's all integrated. I've built this so you guys can. The easiest way for you guys to do this possible. I don't need you don't need to go to the websites and then click on the game and then scroll and then click on this.
Compare DraftKings to FanDuel and back and forth. No, got it.
It's all there. Literally. I'm on the odds page right now. I'm on the NFL. I'm just looking at that first game. I click on the little icon next to the Buffalo Bills. I see the full game market. DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars. Now I click on first half. I get the first half lines for all of these, all these books. And you mentioned the alternates. I get the alternates for all of these books. It's all available for you right there on the website. Go check it out and be on the lookout for a big announcement coming later today. We can't thank you all enough for being a part of our journey here at Better Day. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.